My name is Sabrina McCray. I was diagnosed HIV positive in 1993, and one of the reasons I went and got tested was because I found a paper stating that my husband was positive, and he never shared that with me. I waited a couple of weeks after I had gotten tested, and when they called me to the health department, they told me I was HIV positive, and 2.5 weeks later, I was told I was pregnant. It was a really rough time back then because in 1993, they only had one medication available for those that were HIV infected, and it wasn't no hope. The stigma was just awful. And one of the things that I began to do was to educate myself to make sure that anything that I could do to make sure that my child would be okay. I did everything in my power as a mom. And as I began to educate myself, I began to tell the doctors how to take care of my pregnancy. So I thank God that my child, he's 20 years old today, and he's HIV negative, going to school. And during that time, it took me 5 years to actually talk about HIV. And when I did, I began to embrace life when I was blessed here at Hopkins back in 1998 as a counselor in a women HIV program under Dr. Jean Anderson. And that's when I began to embrace life because I saw that what I went through in the past, it was to help someone else to cross over. So I began to educate myself and to interpret. I would take pamphlets home and translate them from English to Spanish. And I noticed a lot of Hispanic patients were coming in just finding out that they were HIV positive during their pregnancy. So I felt like I went through it just for somebody else because I became the bridge for them to cross over. And I worked for 13 years and 5 months in that clinic, and I transferred to another clinic 3 years ago, and I worked for a different program under Hopkins. And so I've been with Hopkins about 16 years, and this is my last week. I'm going to be working in a public school. It starts next week. So I had embraced life, and here's my son. He's here to support me tonight, my 29-year-old, and my baby, he's 5 years old. I had it since he was a month old, so now he's mine. So I'm just here to tell you that, it's still in a stigma, not as it used to be before, but it's still a lot of the Hispanic patients that I took care of. And I would say my patients, because I used to work one-on-one, they trusted me, and I was there to make sure that they were okay. It's still in a stigma, and they're not coming forward to speak about HIV. So I'm grateful that I made it through to help others. And even though I'm not going to be doing this kind of work, but whenever they need me, I'm here. Thank you.